This is Ryder that Robert is about to get on, and we've had a good bit of improvement with him over the last few rides. He hasn't bucked lately. I'm not sure that that's over, but he hasn't bucked lately, and we're riding him out back now. And I thought I'd give you a look at what he looks like. He's settled down a lot. I think this is going to end up being a really nice laid-back horse once we got him past those bucking issues. And a big part of doing what's asked of him, I think that's a big part of what we had to overcome. And he's starting to realize we're really not going to ask him to do anything that hard. He just needs to walk and steer, pretty much, is really all we're asking of him right now. So I wanted you to see how he behaves when Robert gets on. That's actually pretty good. And he's going to stand pretty decent for Robert to get on. And we're going to walk the circles, going pretty much how we'd like for it to go. Last few videos of him was pretty dynamic, I guess you could say. He was bucking a little bit. He would stop pretty easy, but he was definitely letting us know that he was not happy with the program. He stood pretty good for Robert to get on. He took one step that kind of threw Robert off balance, and he sat down on him a little bit harder than what we'd like, but if it stands still, that wouldn't happen. Walking circles a little bit. You'll see he's really wanting to go down to the far end of the arena, and if you watched the last video of him, he was speeding up going that way and slowing down coming back to the barn. Really kind of unusual. They usually go faster coming to the barn, but his thing is when we ride, he goes faster going away. Robert's walking a few circles each direction, gradually letting the circles get bigger to let him know that we can control the steering and where we go. You see he's trying to go down to the other end of the arena there, and Robert's steering him back. Now Robert's gonna ride him down towards the far end of the arena. See, he started to trot off there and then kind of push his shoulder off to the right. Robert's trying to get him back over to the left, and he's not steering. This needs to get better, but he's also not bucking either. Until just recently, when we tried to tell him to do what we asked him to do, he'd buck. So even though there's still a lot of room for improvement there, it's better than it was. He's not trying to buck and complain that we're trying to get him moved over. Right there, he's wanting to go down to the far end of the arena again, and Robert just changed directions. Just basic redirection. Nothing big drastic going on. See, he's wanting to speed up. Robert's turning him again. So Robert's going to make a couple of laps with him in the arena, and then he's going to ride him out back. And you'll see as he makes a couple more laps, he gradually gets a little bit better about steering and going where he's told. So just a little bit of gradual improvement. It's just a little bit at a time, just wet saddle pads and asking him to go and steer. Turned around, going back the other direction. And you see the whole time, even when he kind of pokes his shoulder out and was trying to take Robert to the other end, he's not doing anything real bad now. So that I'm excited about. Now we can just work on some steering and go and stop. His stop needs some work. He will stop, but it still needs work. Ears is flicking back and forth onto Robert, looking forward and then listening back to what Robert's telling him to do. That's all good stuff, and just a lot of positive reinforcement, steering and releasing. Now here's Robert riding out the gate, going out back. He's going to make a couple laps in the back pasture. On the way there, he's got to cross a bridge, and Robert told me that he didn't want to go across the bridge. He stopped and led him over, and then led him back, and then got back on and rode him over the bridge. And that was the first time that he'd been out back, and we just need to work on the bridge. He said he tried to trot off a couple of times in the back pasture, but never did do anything too bad. When we come back in, we don't want to come in and immediately get off of him, so Robert's going to make a couple of more laps here, just walking and steering. He never really asked him to trot during this ride. He trotted a little bit on his own when he was wanting to go to the far end of the arena, but never asked him to trot, just letting it be a nice, relaxing walk, letting him know that it don't have to be all bad, trying to encourage a positive attitude. Ryder has a real nice walk and a really nice trot. We have not loped him yet. We will be doing that pretty soon. We get a little bit more control over steering. I don't believe in loping a horse the first ride like some people do. I want to get a good steering at a walk and a trot before I ask him to lope. And just about all the time, always when we do that, there's rarely an issue, and the horse takes to the lope just fine normally. So there's where we need to do a little bit of work on the stop. Robert's going to stand there just a little bit. I'm on the other side. I'm actually riding the horse in the big arena out there, and he's telling me about how the ride out back went. Ryder's standing there nice. See, we need a little bit more work on the walk cue, but that'll come. Notice when Robert was bumping the walk forward, Ryder's ears never came back. That his ears need to come back when we're asking for that. But that'll all come. That's all part of just the learning process, the progression of how it's going to go. So Robert's telling me about how the ride out back went. He's going to dismount in just a minute, and you'll see how that goes, which it went good. And Ryder's making some nice progress. Just still need to keep riding and keep putting some saddle miles on him, wet saddle pads, and he's going to end up being a really nice horse. So if you're watching on YouTube, I'll put a link here at the end for Ryder's playlist. Until next time, thank you for watching.